don't have someone here doing opening announcements, do I? Okay. I think that's me this morning. I guess that's me. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning indeed. I am Reef. I am the intern minister here at First Parish Church of Stowe and Acton, a welcoming congregation in the Unitarian Universalist movement. We have some announcements for you this morning that you can find in your order of service. In particular, I want to draw your attention to the fact that today is, in fact, the beginning of our stewardship campaign, and we'll have a few words about that soon, and the whole service is very much centered around that. I also want to mention that Reverend Cindy has purchased a number of gift cards. These gift cards are to help people who need something to get by because your SNAP benefits may have been late or may not be coming at all. So if you're a member of the congregation who is on SNAP and you need something, please come see me after church. I have some with me. If we can't get you one today, we can get you one from Rev Cindy when she returns on Monday. Are there any other announcements that we should draw our attention to this morning?
No. Next Sunday is in Hudson.
That's right. Thank you for that. That's a really important one. Hey, next Sunday we're in Hudson. So as you know, we have been in conversation with the Marlborough and Hudson Unitarian congregation about our possible merger. Next Sunday, every one of us, I hope, will join every one of them in their sanctuary in Hudson. It's at 10:30. What time is it next week?
10:30.
So even if you arrive on time for this service, you still have time to get there. So you get to sleep in a little bit longer if you want, though. So we'll be meeting there. Again, that's going to be at 10:30. Thank you, Ruth. I really appreciate you calling that one out. I did write some things down, but I wasn't expecting to give announcements. So that was my own thing there. Any other announcements we should bring up this morning before we move in? Coffee House is next Saturday, and you can find information about that right here in your order of service. New Revival Coffee House, House of Hamel. All right.
Is there still that Trans 101 thing after the service today?
Yes, that's also in your order of service. Yes, my apologies. We typically will draw your attention to things that are in the order of service for the order of service, but I want to make sure that anything that's not in there gets announced up. And we will actually talk a little bit more about some other things at coffee hour as well. Join us after church downstairs for some coffee. I think we've got that. Our opening words this morning, if I could have a volunteer willing to come and light our chalice. Yeah, come on up. Our opening words in chalice lighting this morning come to us from the Senegalese forestry engineer and environmental activist Baba Dioum. In his 1968 address to the triennial meeting of the General Assembly of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, Dioum said, "In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand. We will understand only what we are taught." Let us rise in body or in spirit as we harvest the power of being together this morning, singing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Witness the mystery
Please remain arisen in body or in spirit as we say and sing our covenant and affirmation.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
We would like to acknowledge that this service is being held by a community that gathers on the stolen traditional lands of the Massachusetts, Nipmuc, Pawtucket, and Wampanoag people. We pay respect to those indigenous peoples who lost their lives in the colonization of this land, and recognize that these indigenous tribes are still today facing violations of sovereignty, territory, and water. We also give thanks for the earth we walk upon, the waters, the life-giving plants, and all the earth's creatures, as well as the winds, sun, moon, and stars. We recognize this is just a first step in moving toward right relationship with Native peoples and the healing of our earth. Please take a few moments to greet your neighbors. As you're greeting your neighbors, if the youth could come forward. All right. Good morning. How are you? How is everyone else? Good? Excellent. Did you know, I heard a story recently. I am not a longtime member of this congregation. I'm guessing you're not a longtime member of this congregation. No. How many folks here are long time members of this congregation? I'm not going to define long. You define long. If your life is very long, short might be shorter and long might be longer. All right. How many folks are coming here for their first time today? Yeah. Welcome. Welcome. How many folks have been here somewhere between a short time and an almost longer time? So everyone in between. Yeah. And that is most of us. And I'm brand new here. I just started in August. But I heard a really interesting story. Did you know that this congregation, a long time ago, once had a situation where it was not going so well? And the congregation decided they needed to have a vote, that we needed to have a vote on whether or not to stay open. Who knew this story? All right, cool. Were you there for this story? There are some. So the vote was scheduled. And what do we do when we vote? We show up. Well, we did do that. But what do we do when we vote? We show up. We cast a what? A ballot, or we raise our hand. Well, people were holding their breath at this meeting because they weren't sure what was going to happen. And one person more showed up than was necessary for them to make it a yes. One vote. One person showed up. It was one vote. What could happen if you were the one vote that showed up for something in order to make something happen? What kind of power do you have that you can affect change by being the one extra vote necessary to say yes to something? This congregation has decided to say yes every year since. In fact, for a little while, there was a tradition to remember that first vote, to take a vote every year at the annual meeting on whether or not we would stay open. Just to remember that one vote. And we don't have to do that anymore, because every time we show up in this building, every time we bake pies, every time we have fun with our friends in RE, every time we learn something, every time we sing a song, practice with the choir, stand out on Thursdays, we are saying yes to First Parish Church, staying open, to being here, to being a vibrant community. And you know why all these folks, take a look around the room. Do you know why all these folks did that? Partially for them, but also for you. And for all of the people who come through our doors every single day. So, we can say yes to a lot, and I hope that you will. Before we go, you're going to hear a lot about, you won't be hearing it today, but everyone else will be hearing a little bit about my trip on the Appalachian Trail. You're so lucky. But one of the things we do on the Appalachian Trail is that we'll send postcards home to people to say, hey, this is how my journey's going. Here's the next part of the story. So I have something for all of you, but also for you. If you want to take some of these cards with you downstairs, I would like you to consider these index cards postcards. And I would like you to send a postcard to your friends at First Parish Church, telling them a story of some time on your journey, all of your journeys, that you were welcomed, that you were loved, that you were able to give to somebody else, whatever the story is, some part of your story in the greater story of First Parish. And send that postcard by dropping it on this table on your way out after service, or I'll collect them at coffee hour. And for the youth, I will come and I will ask Lindsay for your postcards. You can draw, you can write, you can do whatever you want. These are your postcards. And they're your postcards to your First Parish community. Actually, you know what? Take some of those ones, and I'll give you some pink ones too, because I've got to have all the colors. I'm going to have you both share those cards with your friends. Thank you so much. We're going to sing you away to your classes. Thanks for spending time with me.
Good morning. Today, as you've heard, is the kickoff of our Fall Stewardship Drive. It's the time when we ask our members and friends to make a monetary pledge for the preservation and continuation of our beloved community. For me, it is a time of reflection on all that FPC means to me and how, is that better? And how I can contribute to sustaining and strengthening it, particularly during these troubling and challenging times. I find that I seek the comfort and security of being with friends and people who share my values and restore my spirit. The diverse music in the sanctuary, coffee houses and concerts often takes me to a place of calm and renewal. I find joy in the creativity and talent of our members and friends. There is fun and laughter with the children during RE, game night and Friday friends, and so many other activities. This sanctuary not only feeds my soul, but also fortifies me to join others as I work on this for social issues, justice issues that I care about. This reflection has led Rick and I to make a commitment of increasing our pledge by 10% from last year. We know that inflation and decisions made by our government has had a negative impact, not only on our church's budget, but on some of our staff and members and friends. We are in the fortunate position that we have not been impacted as of yet and can make a bigger commitment. The theme for our stewardship drive is moving forward in community with our time, talent, and treasure. Our goals are fairly simple: nurturing our music, art, and worship, growing our RE program, retaining our excellent staff, supporting our social justice work, and maintaining our beautiful building. If you believe, like I do, that it is critically important to be faithful stewards to this community, you are currently able, please join me in pledging generously. And there are several ways. You'll find them specifically in your order of service, but let me sort of enumerate them. One, you all received a brochure and a pledge card. You can fill out, if you feel comfortable, filling it out now and putting it in the collection plate. Or you can take it home, have a discussion with your significant other, or you take some time to reflect and mail it in. You can pledge online, and the link is in the order of service. Many of our friends and members do that. Thirdly, at coffee hour downstairs, there will be members of the stewardship committee that will be happy to talk to you about donating and to have additional pledge cards. I want to thank you sincerely for being part of this community. Your presence and support are so important. We are hoping that everyone will pledge, and we really do appreciate all pledges, regardless of the amount. Thank you for listening.
I'll let you do that. Thanks.
Good morning. This is the time in our service where we're going to share joys and sorrows. I'm Ingrid Holcomb, and I am one of your lay ministers here. We just took some refresher training, so we're ready for any calls and concerns that you have. One idea to put in your head might be that if you're just not sure if what's troubling you, you need to talk to Cindy directly about, you can always call one of us, and we'll be there to help you, connect you, listen, whatever it takes. So thank you. I'll ask the ushers then to come up, please. As they take the mics, what I'd like you to try today is if you speak, please give us your name and speak to everyone who's online. And that means, although we often don't like hearing the sounds of our voices, if we don't use the mic, not everyone can be there to support us. With that, I'd like to light 2 extra candles, as is our tradition. One for the cost of war in all of its manifestations, and a second for all those joys and sorrows not spoken here today, but still held in our community.
Thank you. This morning, our prayer or meditation comes from Joy Harjo, who served as the 23rd U.S. Poet Laureate from 2019 to 2022, the first Indigenous American to hold that honor. This is her poem, Remember. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, the trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember, the dance language is, that life is. Remember. Come sing a song with me as we rise in body or spirit for hymn 346. I believe Josh and Kathy would like to say some words about this month's sharing our gifts.
Good morning. Okay, I did not do this in large print, so, and I probably should have. This month's plate sharing is going to be Pink Haven Coalition, and I'm going to give you a little intro, as much as I can. My sister is a minister, and I can see why she's the one who does this, and I don't normally do this. It is the understatement of the decade to say that it is not easy to be transgender in the U.S. right now. Each state has different laws and access to gender-affirming care. In some states, transgender families face legal discrimination, threat of violence in public bathrooms, airports, schools, government buildings, gyms, and more. There are 2 states, Texas and Florida, where it is advised that transgender folk do not travel, let alone live there. Transgender people feel the need to leave spaces they don't feel safe and or cannot get gender-affirming care to go to safer places in the U.S. I say safer because even in states with protective state laws like ours, federal regulations have made it more difficult to give gender-affirming care. Some transgender families need to move due to extreme harassment, including people being named online as transgender along with their address, something called doxing. What can we do? First and foremost is getting transgender people to safer states. The Pink Haven Coalition works to do just that by providing funding and a welcoming village of people in and around their new home. The welcoming village provides supports as these people adjust to a new place with different laws, customs, and services. People who come to Pink Haven need funding as safer states generally have a higher cost of living and they may need time to find new homes and jobs. We have found that due to the threat of harassment, many of the families do not wish to share their stories publicly. Therefore, I can't give you any specific stories on the work that is done by Pink Haven, but can say that the families that Pink Haven seeks to assist are much like the refugees we help from other countries. And I would just also like to tell you that we're going to have a Trans 101 session after church in the community room, and the video is by Alex Capitan, who came and spoke to us, transgender activist, who has also been a very big supporter of Pink Haven.
Thank you for that beautiful piece. I also want to thank Margot Law for adding flute to our anthem this morning. In June of 2014, I was a few months into being 29 years old, and I had been working at Isabella Freedman Jewish Retreat Center in Connecticut as the program manager for just about a year and a half. It was approaching the time when I had been thinking about hiking the Appalachian Trail, so I approached my supervisor to ask for a 6-month sabbatical for the following year to through hike it. He told me no. I hadn't been there long enough, and let's all be honest, you and I probably would have given the same answer. Maybe, he said, after my 3rd year. So I waited. A year later, I turned 30, the same age my father was when he hiked the Appalachian Trail in 1971. It was why I wanted to hike it that year. Sometimes, as we discover, waiting simply is. That June, 2015 now, after setting up a meeting with my supervisor and our executive director, we met and together we made a plan. I would take a 6-month leave of absence the following spring, 2016, hiking from Georgia to Maine, writing a weekly blog that connected the journey to the work I was already doing in the Jewish environmental movement we were rooted in at the retreat center. That, as they say, was the plan. Then in October, things unraveled rather quickly and decisively. The organization merged. Promises that were made were broken, and I, along with many others, was laid off. It was one of those moments when life suddenly opens up into at least 2 diverging roads. Roads to the unknown, roads to the possible. Roads that can be terrifying and exciting all at once, especially when your room and board are provided by the place where you were working. I didn't know what would come next, but after a month of discernment, I decided that I would still go, even if the plan had changed, even if I did not know where I was going to land at the end of the journey. Instead of starting in Georgia, I started in Key West, at the beginning of the Florida Keys Overseas Heritage Trail. I would hike north, connect somehow to the Appalachian Trail, I was sure. I began opening myself to possibility, to trusting the unknown. In January 2016, on my 31st birthday, I began what would become a 10-month journey, eventually completing much of the Florida National Scenic Trail and an entire through hike of the Appalachian Trail. At the Visitor Center near Springer Mountain, Georgia, the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, is a quote from Benton Mackay of Shirley, Massachusetts, the trail's founder, a man who, by the way, also dreamed up the Bay Circuit Trail here in Massachusetts. He wrote, "The purpose of the Appalachian Trail is to see the trail and to see what you see." That line stirred in me emotions I had not felt before. I began to see that I wasn't embarking on a simple journey or a hike. It was indeed a spiritual pilgrimage. I began to imagine all of the people who had worked to make the trail a reality. Who were all these people who created, built, maintained, and sustained this 2,200-mile trail? The trail existed because people I'd never met cared enough to clear the rocks and repair the steps. They loved this wild living corridor enough to keep it open for complete strangers like me. That, beloved spiritual companions, is what we call stewardship. We like to tell ourselves a story of rugged individualism, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, of the solitary hiker foraging in the woods, making their way through the wilderness. But every step I took depended on seen and unseen members of the community, the trail community. There are the trail maintainers, the ones out there with shovels and saws who might never walk a single step of the whole 2,200-mile shebang as a hike, but only out of service because they just love doing this kind of work, clearing it so that others can. You know, they have annual awards for every 1,000 hours of volunteering one has done on the trail. My friend Bob Peoples, you may have seen a bumper sticker on my car that says Bob Peoples for president, and you're about to find out why. Now in his 80s, has over 11,000 trail maintenance hours under his belt. But it's not for the recognition. It's to provide a way for people to connect with the more than human world in the backcountry by creating and connecting the most populated communities of the Appalachian Ridge together by a trail. That was Benton Mackay's vision, was to connect all of the communities of the Appalachian Mountains by trail. And there are the trail angels, really called that. These are ones who set out coolers of water and fruit, who hand weary hikers hot meals or a free ride to town to resupply. They're at almost every trailhead. Hikers call them trail angels, and they call this act of generosity trail magic. They give for the sheer joy of hearing hiker stories and being part of the experience in this way. Many of them haven't hiked the entire trail either. And that's what community looks like. It looks like everyone offering what they can, where they can, in the way that their gifts allow. Some clear the trail and make way for the returning hikers and newcomers alike. Some feed the weary pilgrims or offer shelter and a shower for the night. Some work in Harper's Ferry, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy headquarters, to protect the trail in Congress and to raise money for local trail clubs. All of these people tell stories that keep the trail alive. And in discerning my sermon this morning, I realized that's not so different from a congregation. There are many ways to interpret Robert Frost's poem that we just heard so beautifully sung, The Road Not Taken. And while I'd like to be tongue-in-cheek with you about it and give you the whole true story of that poem, that only a park ranger who once worked at Lawrence Heritage State Park could, I must rely on the most common interpretation, that of the crossroads. Because right now, as a congregation, we are, in fact, upon one of those yellow woods. We are discerning how to move forward together in community, through growth, through partnership, and through uncertainty. And like any good hike, there are multiple ways forward. We have a saying in the hiker community, hike your own hike. How deliciously Unitarian Universalist. But what matters most is that we journey any one of these paths together. I emailed members of the stewardship committee. Well, actually, I emailed Sharon, and Sharon shared the questions about what moving forward in the community means to them. Their answers clearly came from the heart. Sharon said it means learning and growing in our faith, extending radical welcome, building on our history of justice and transformation. Peter offered that our community is the key strength of this church, that visitors might come for the building or the history, but they return because of the people. Russ spoke of courage, the courage to face challenges, to value those institutions that have sustained us, while moving forward in common cause toward our collective spiritual well-being. Moving forward isn't a straight line from A to B. It is clearly a covenantal journey. And covenant, by its nature, is a promise to keep showing up, even when the road bends and the weather turns as it is wont to do. This congregation knows something about crossroads. First Parish Church had to take a vote once, in which a single vote was the deciding factor for there to be a membership now on the books of 280 members. Can you imagine, looking at who we are today, that was a reality for us once? We also, as a congregation, have broken internal congregational barriers with our first openly gay minister and our first woman minister. And FPC has thrived through those challenges that were brought in those moments. This congregation has endured financial uncertainty and has adapted with beautiful creativity and adaptive change. Adaptive change. I said adaptive twice. That's okay. There was a time decades ago when this congregation took that one vote. One person showed up. Imagine that. One person, one decision, one act of faith that changed the entire story of this, our beloved congregation. And it is mine now too, I'm realizing. We are here not because of that vote, but because of what that one vote represents. Someone believed the trail was still worth keeping open for others pilgrimaging on their journeys. And we've kept it open through pandemics with online worship. And we've kept it open through our coffee hours and our craft beer festivals. We've kept it open through the laughter of our children and the strength of our elders. We've been through hard times before, and we have survived, and we have thrived. But we also need to be honest about where we are at right now. Just as hikers must face the steep climbs and the long miles ahead, we too have to name the realities that challenge us. You heard Sharon earlier, costs rise. Health insurance costs rise. In fact, that's a really big thing happening on a federal level right now. Utilities rise for our building. Indeed, they're rising for all of us at home too, even as we're fighting it in our own state. We are doing everything as a congregation can possibly do to steward our resources for maintaining our trail quite wisely. And the work of our ministries, the work of our love, still costs us something to do. It's not an easy conversation, but it's a faithful one for us to have together because it allows us to respond to the work of our congregation together with deep courage. When I asked, what do we need to move forward faithfully this year, Sharon offered more people sharing their time, talent, and treasure. But also she emphasized that we need engagement and joy. Andy wrote about the need to widen our circle so we can be a support to one another and to welcome newcomers. Peter reminded that while external forces test us, resisting them together makes us stronger. And Russ added that we need to care for our families to prevent burnout and balancing what we ask with what people can give. Stewardship in this sense is both trail maintenance and trail companionship. It's tending our religious path while we tend to one another on that journey. And so where does the horizon call us now? Well, you decided to be a teaching congregation for one, and I'm so grateful for that because I'm getting to be here, and I get to meet all of you beautiful souls. In reading the response to this question of where the horizon calls us, the Stewardship Committee is clearly guided by a vision of First Parish as a beacon of love and justice that gives hope for families in troubled times, sustainably lives our values, and creates so much joy that we lift one another up from our lives' burdens. This is what the Stewardship Committee reflected to me. And it is so easy to see why these ideas and words guide our stewardship team. These are the folks, the stewardship team, who will be asking each of you to make your own commitment to what this congregation means to you and your family and your community. They're going to ask you to give, so I thought, why not ask, why do they give? Sharon gives because this is where she truly belongs. Andy, because giving and receiving are two sides of the same love. Peter gives us a promise, a way to live his commitment. Russ gives because serving transformed reluctance into deep joy. Like Baba Diyum said in our opening words, in the end, we only can serve what we love. Love inspires such stewardship. Stewardship begins first in gratitude. It matures through love and trust, and then it blossoms in such incredible joy. Joy for what we love. And we love this place, and we love this people. And so I ask you, what trail magic can you offer one another this year? What love, what time, what talent, what treasure can we leave beside the path so that another traveler might find refreshment and hope? Each pledge, each volunteer hour, each act of compassion is another mile of trail blazed toward our summit. As we move forward together in community, may we remember that this congregation, like the Appalachian Trail, exists because generations of people like us have cared enough to keep it open. May we do likewise for each other and for the next 7 generations to come. As we commit to our kindling flame, let us rise in body or in spirit as we sing hymn 1028, The Fire of Commitment. Here is to the next trailhead, here's to our wayside hostel, and here's to the journey where we open the path for all to live long and prosper.
Peace be with